Welcome, seekers of the truth, to the Magical Services channel. So this is going to be a most supreme love horoscope for the general collective for the time when the moon is in Capricorn. And in universal time, that'll be from July 26th around 1 p.m. to July 29th around 1 p.m. universal time. So this horoscope will be for that time frame. With that said, let's get into your reading. So the moon's passage through Capricorn from July 26th through July 29th, 2026 creates a distinctly serious relationship atmosphere. Feelings are not absent, but they are being measured against reality, responsibility, reliability, and long-term value. This is not a period in which romantic intensity alone is enough. People are more likely to ask whether affection can be trusted, whether promises can be fulfilled, and whether a relationship has enough structural integrity to survive pressure. With the moon waxing from 91.6% toward virtually full illumination, emotional matters become increasingly visible. What has been developing privately is moving toward recognition, culmination, and confrontation. Love becomes less about fantasy and more about what somebody actually does. The Capricorn moon begins at 0 degrees and advances to the end of the sign, steadily intensifying its practical, controlled emotional character. Early in the passage, the moon forms an exceptionally close sextile to the true north node in Pisces, linking emotional maturity with a broader evolutionary movement toward compassion, surrender, emotional sensitivity, and spiritual trust. This is important because Capricorn can over-rely on control. The nodal emphasis asks relationships to retain standards without becoming emotionally rigid. As the moon progresses, it moves toward supportive contact with Venus in Virgo and Mars in Gemini, creating opportunities to translate feeling into concrete affection, useful communication, physical presence, and practical acts of care. Love can become stronger through small demonstrations of dependability rather than dramatic declarations. Venus in Virgo is one of the central relationship signatures of this period. At approximately between 18 to 21 degrees Virgo, Venus wants discernment. It notices inconsistencies, remembers details, evaluates behavior, and distinguishes genuine devotion from superficial performance. In healthy relationships, this produces attentiveness, remembering what matters to someone, helping without being asked, improving communication, and showing love through competence. In unhealthy dynamics, however, the same energy can become criticism, perfectionism, scorekeeping, or the belief that affection must be earned through flawless behavior. The relationship lesson is therefore precise. Standards are useful, but excessive scrutiny can suffocate intimacy. Mercury in Cancer reinforces the emotional dimension of communication, moving from approximately 16 degrees to 17 degrees Cancer. Is developing sextile with Venus supports tenderness, tact, affectionate conversation, and the possibility of saying something emotionally meaningful in a way that can actually be received. Yet Mercury is simultaneously square Saturn in Aries, and that tension becomes progressively tighter in the early part of the period before widening again. This is the signature of difficult conversations, emotional restraint, delayed responses, fear of rejection, or words that carry heavier consequences than expected. Someone may want reassurance, but struggle to ask for it directly. Someone else may care deeply while communicating in a guarded or overly pragmatic manner. Do not mistake emotional caution automatically for emotional absence. Mars in Gemini supplies a very different relational impulse. It wants movement, conversation, stimulation, experimentation, and immediate engagement. Its opposition to true black moon Lilith in Sagittarius is one of the most important signatures in the dataset. Lilith advances from about 20 degrees Sagittarius to 23 degrees Sagittarius, while Mars moves through Gemini from 19 degrees to 21 degrees, keeping the opposition active and tightening it toward the end of the period. This can expose provocative truths around desire, freedom, sexual autonomy, jealousy, forbidden attractions, blunt speech, and the refusal to be controlled. Someone may deliberately test another person's boundaries, while another may suddenly become unwilling to suppress a desire that has been accumulating underneath polite behavior. The constructive expression is radical honesty without coercion. The destructive expression is provocative, and it is provocation for its own sake. Excuse me. Venus also squares Lilith throughout the passage, moving from roughly 1 degree orb to just about 2 degrees in orb. This adds another layer of tension between socially acceptable relationship behavior and instinctive desire. A person can genuinely want commitment while simultaneously craving independence, novelty, or an experience that does not fit neatly inside conventional expectations. This does not automatically indicate betrayal. It indicates that desire has a shadow component that must be acknowledged rather than denied. Relationships become stronger when partners can discuss uncomfortable wants without weaponizing them against each other. The most conspicuous major planetary development is the Sun-Jupiter conjunction in Leo. The Sun advances from 3 degrees to 5 degrees about in Leo, while Jupiter moves from 5 degrees to 6 degrees about, taking their conjunction from approximately 2 degrees to an exceptionally tight 0-degree range near the end of the period. In love, this expands warmth, generosity, confidence, romantic visibility, and the desire to be celebrated. People may become bolder about expressing affection or pursuing someone they genuinely want. Existing relationships can experience renewed enthusiasm, playfulness, pride, and emotional generosity. But Jupiter amplifies whatever it touches, so romantic confidence can become arrogance, extravagance, entitlement, or exaggerated expectations. The healthiest expression is generous love without demanding applause in return. The Sun and Jupiter simultaneously oppose Pluto and Aquarius, while the Sun also maintains a trine to Neptune and sextiles Uranus. This makes the romantic field unusually potent. Pluto introduces intensity, power dynamics, obsession, transformation, and the exposure of hidden motives. Neptune adds idealism, emotional imagination, spiritual attraction, and the danger of projecting an unimagined version of someone onto the real person. So be careful to not project imagined versions of people onto your person. Uranus adds surprise, liberation, unconventional attraction, and sudden changes in relational expectations. Together, these signatures suggest that love may feel simultaneously expensive, destabilizing, intoxicating, and transformative. A relationship can deepen dramatically, but only if truth is stronger than fantasy and affection is stronger than control. Jupiter's sextiles to Uranus and trine toward Neptune further amplify the possibility of romantic breakthroughs. Unexpected encounters can carry significance. A stagnant relationship can suddenly find a new direction. Someone may recognize that the relationship they genuinely want does not resemble the relationship they previously believed they should want. This is particularly favorable for breaking repetitive emotional patterns, provided freedom is not confused with emotional irresponsibility. As the moon approaches the final degrees of Capricorn, its emotional tone becomes increasingly consequential. It moves through supportive contacts with Venus and Mars, then toward a conjunction with Pluto immediately beyond the dataset's endpoint. The approaching Pluto contact suggests that feelings are nearing a deeper psychological threshold. Matters that have been manageable through restraint may become impossible to ignore. By July 29th, Emotional control is no longer the same thing as emotional resolution. The coming transition into Aquarius shifts the emphasis from emotional containment toward perspective, independence, and a more objective examination of relationship patterns. The central love message of this entire passage is therefore uncompromising. Choose relationships that can survive the truth. Venus in Virgo demands consistency. Capricorn demands maturity. Mercury, Saturn demands responsible communication. Mars, Lilith demands honesty about desire. Sun, Jupiter demands wholeheartedness. Pluto demands psychological honesty. Neptune demands discernment between intuition and projection. Uranus demands room to breathe. And the Pisces North Node asks all of this maturity to remain compassionate rather than defensive. Love is not being asked to become colder. It is being asked to become more real. The strongest relationships now are those capable of holding commitment and freedom, desire and restraint, vulnerability and standards, without forcing one side to destroy the other. So that is what I had for you today, collective. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like this video, or comment this video, share this video, or hype this video, or subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, or hype our channel by letting your friends and acquaintances who benefit from it know about it. All those acts would be great and greatly appreciated. Now, there's a magical service being offered in the description box as befitting a magical channel, so feel free to check it out. It could be very useful. And beyond that, I want to thank you very much for being here and being part of our tribe, being part of our network, being part of our circle, and supporting our channel. Until the next time, blessings.